Supporters of two bills regarding medical cannabis gathered at the State House in Augusta today. One bill introduced by Representative Mark Mallon of Biddeford will require the testing of medical cannabis before it's distributed to users. According to Mallon, out of all of the states that have legalized medical cannabis, Maine is the only one that doesn't require testing. The other bill, proposed by Representative Annie Graham of North Yarmouth, is aimed at reducing youth usage of cannabis. Specifically, it would set a maximum level of THC in medical cannabis products, such as edibles. The minimum age for medical use cannabis in Maine is 18, while recreationally, you have to be 21.
Nearly 1 in 5 high schoolers are currently using cannabis. And cannabis today is 5 times stronger than the cannabis of the 1970s. High-potency cannabis is having life-altering impacts on young people in Maine, including increased risk of serious mental illness.
It shouldn't be left to patients to have to navigate the ins and outs of whether their products are properly tested. Requiring testing for harmful contaminants and potency in the medical cannabis program is long overdue. It will protect consumers, and it will strengthen Maine's still very young cannabis industry.
According to the Alliance for Responsible Cannabis in Maine, neither bill has been scheduled yet for public hearings, but they are expected to be sent to the Committee on Veteran and Legal Affairs.